things that float above the solid world. On a hillside, thin ribbons of mist. On a high mountain, billows of cloud. Cream and silver vapor around a waterfall. Among pine trees, silver-grey stillness as high as the sash at one's waist. Streets of the city filled to the brim with fog. The shimmer above a bowl of hot rice. Flakes of snow. They swirl and dance in the wind. Petals of the cherry tree in a gentle breeze. Incense in the temple. An almost invisible haze in candlelight.
Smoke from a funeral pyre. A silent rising like a yearning ghost.
Your Majesty?
Shonagon, are you all right? You know Her Majesty is in seclusion.
Of course.
You had that look on your face. I hoped you might be composing one of your lists.
You hoped I was?
Yes. Because you've had that look a lot recently, but there have been no lists. You fall silent, you stare at nothing. Is it deep thought, or daydreams, or simply an empty mind? Shonagon, please don't stare like that. You look decidedly odd.
I heard her voice.
Whose voice?
The Empress. I heard her so clearly.
Ah, so it's a listening look. Have you been getting enough sleep, or too much wine?
Lady Shonagon, may I speak with you?
Oh, good. Your policeman. Maybe he can solve the mystery.
You may come in, Lieutenant.
Lady Shonagon. Lady Saisho. Forgive my intrusion.
You are most welcome, Yukinari. Do please interrogate Shonagon. Find out why she sits gazing and silent. It seems almost witless.
That's a word could never apply to either of you ladies.
He is gallant, is he not?
Even the word silent is unlikely.
Ah, the banter of the lower orders. It's too little valued.
You wanted to speak to me?
I thought it might interest you to know that this member of the lower orders has just had an audience with the new Empress.
What?
You... Well, what would the Empress want with you?
I have no idea.
Banter and now riddles.
Explain yourself.
Empress Shoshi sent for me. I assumed it was about some crime, but when I arrived, she simply sat on her throne and stared at me. For several minutes.
There is a lot of staring in this palace these days.
She has an especially tall footstool. She's tiny.
The new Empress is very young.
She said nothing?
I was first to speak.
That is not the etiquette.
I know. But the silence went on so long, and she is so young. So I said that I would be honoured to carry out any duty she required of me.
And?
Well, she didn't answer for at least another minute. Then she started to ask me questions.
About what?
All kinds of things. My age, where I was born, my father's occupation and standing, how well I could read and write, how quickly I had risen through the ranks, what training I'd received in swordsmanship, the quality of the food at the police barracks, all kinds of things. Then she sat and gazed at me for yet another minute, until a servant came up behind me and whispered in my ear I was to leave, very slowly and backwards.
She didn't ask about Her Majesty? About the help you've been to her and the Emperor? Your investigations?
No, never mentioned. The Emperor, Her Majesty, Empress Teishi, of course.
Yes, our Empress Teishi is Her Majesty to us and always will be.
Empress Shoshi, however, is First Consort now, and she is the Chancellor's daughter.
Her Majesty, Shonagon, Empress Teishi, has she still not called for you? Or for you, Lady Saisho?
No, she maintains her seclusion. She's seeing only family, apart from maids and body servants.
No ladies in waiting, no companions.
No Lady Shonagon. Oh, she must be so lonely.
But the Emperor, will he not still visit Her Majesty? Sorry, that was...
Lieutenant, if the new Empress didn't mention your work for their Majesties, she must have not asked about how you and Shonagon have worked together, and how your cooperation has grown into a most unusual friendship.
No palace lady was mentioned.
Shonagon, we are ignored. Maybe that's why you've taken to gazing at nothing and hearing voices and compiling no lists.
Composing. The lists are composed.
I shall take a walk in the gardens, alone. I have heard enough nonsensical banter for a while. Now then, compose yourself. Compose yourself and compose a list. Springtime, budding trees, new life. Trees. You are like men-at-arms. You are a god of honor. The sacred trees of Japan. What spirits inhabit them? If I turn my back, close my eyes, would you uproot yourselves? Branches raised, supplication of the goddess. If I walk, will you walk behind me in procession? Living trees, new budding spirits. Trees walking like men. Compose a list, not a fairy tale. But listen. Listen. Can you not hear the woody footsteps? It's cold. So suddenly cold.
Shonagon? Shonagon, what are you doing?
I am composing a list. And I told you I wanted to be alone.
That was 2 hours ago. Have you been out here all that time?
2 hours?
And you seem to be talking to yourself off to the trees.
Composing?
I have just come from an audience with the new Empress.
You?
She sat on her throne with her feet on her tall footstool and gazed at me for 5 minutes. She said nothing, not one word. Then the servant told me to leave.
Why did she send for you?
To have a good long look at me, it would seem. But you mean why me before you? Well, don't take it too hard. The Empress Shoshi has summoned you now.
Things to remember when you are kept standing in a throne room under the gaze of a silent, unsmiling, tiny empress. Your dress is elegant, immaculate, and harmonious. Your posture is excellent. You are well balanced. Your legs are strong. Your head, though bowed, is expressive of dignity. Your stomach makes no sound. Your hands are folded together as gracefully as the petals of an evening flower. You are almost certainly the most intelligent woman in this room.
Lady Shonagon, we have been told that you defend shameless, lewd and disrespectful women.
Your Majesty?
You speak in their defence to high lords of this palace, in a manner in itself disrespectful.
I think I know the incident to which Your Majesty refers.
You confess to it, then?
I confess to a few moments of impatience and confusion in which I perhaps spoke unwisely.
In all other moments, then, you speak with wisdom.
I make no claim to wisdom. But I do understand the manners and propriety of lords and ladies of grace. I believe I comport myself accordingly. I speak carefully and with all due deference.
Except when you're confused and unwise and impatient.
The lady in question, Your Majesty, was certainly unconventional. She travelled and wrote long letters describing what she found in the great world, but to judge her too harshly because of that...
Is it wise for a lady in waiting to an empress to be overly friendly with a policeman? Is that not beyond unconventional? Is it not a shocking confusion? We are impatient for an answer.
Your Majesty, I think, must refer to the Lieutenant Yukinari. He and I...
You and he, indeed.
The Emperor and Her Majesty, Empress Teishi, both think very highly of the Lieutenant.
So we understand.
And if Your Majesty will allow me to state humbly, both their Majesties value the work that the Lieutenant, with my help, has done for the palace.
Your Chinese jacket is of pine leaf green.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Do not wear it in our presence again. Do we confuse you, Lady Shonagon? Let us clarify. You are a woman of great vanity. That was clear immediately, from the angle of your bowed head. You are certainly pretty.
But there's no doubt. Provincial life can be detected in that shallow prettiness no more than 2 generations ago. Our eyes are as keen as those of a hungry eagle.
Your Majesty.
Our eyes have seen you among the pine trees. Your bowed head then spoke not of vanity, but of love and grief. You tended a funeral pyre. The smoke, it was like the rising silence of a yearning ghost.
Majesty!
Lady Shonagon!
Even your fainting is graceful.
Carry this woman from our presence.
What happened?
You know what happened. I fainted.
But why?
Women do. People do. And the room was so warm. She kept me standing there for minutes on end.
Shonagon, you have stood in throne rooms for hours in the past. You've stood in palace squares in blistering heat or freezing cold.
I know. I am humiliated. My first audience with the new Empress, and I collapsed like a dizzy girl.
So there's more to this than the heat or being kept standing for a while.
The Empress, she is disconcerting. She confused me.
You are not easily confused.
She kept changing the subject suddenly for no reason I could fathom.
What were the subjects? Shonagon.
My defense of an unorthodox lady. The colour of my jacket. And you.
Is that the jacket?
No, it is not. That one has already gone to the fire.
She spoke about me. You and me.
And her voice changed.
What do you mean?
Not her tone of voice, not the level. It was another voice.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Did Saisho not say something about you hearing voices?
I am not hearing voices.
Of
Mad
course
people hear voices. I am not mad.
Of course not. But you are tired. Distracted. There's been such turmoil. Empress Teishi.
Who is my majesty? My devotion is to her.
But we have to face the fact. She is no longer the power she was. We have a new Chancellor, and his daughter is the new First Consort. A new Empress. Times have changed, Shonagon.
The times, perhaps. I have not. Inevitable changes. New life. The budding of trees, the hatching of eggs. The growing prominence of veins on the back of one's hands. The floating and spinning of cherry blossom at its fall, its destiny.